Thank you for joining us today. There is a better way. We will discuss innovations in the process for optimizing your filter changes to minimize nuisance activity by your maintenance folks. Why gamble with your HVAC systems? My name is Zoufalik. My experience over the last 25 plus years has been within the built environment across all segments of the design, construction, and operations of facilities, both commercial and institutional. Lowering operations costs and improving IAQ is very important and something that can be achieved through innovations. These savings can provide bottom line revenues. Additionally, studies indicate that IAQ affects not only the health of the occupants of the facilities, but also their productivity. So being innovative is truly a benefit. Now, for most, the standard process for filter changes in various facilities has been a few things. One, like the calendar, is based on time, either of calendar days or tracking the runtime of the equipment. We also sometimes see visual inspection, and on a rare case, preferential differentiation using magnehelic gauges or through a BAS system. Now, all these methods do not provide any indication of whether the filters are clogged or not. This results in either changing the filters too frequently or not frequently enough. And both of those things have negative consequences. A filter like this gives you that oops moment. Unfortunately, clogged air filters are not a laughing matter. And the consequences of clogged filters can be very costly, both in direct cost and also indirect cost. So what are the consequences? Well, increased energy consumption is one. And as you can all know, that clogged filters require added static pressure and the fan has to work longer. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, the energy penalty can be as high as 15%. Now, obviously, depending on your electric rate, those costs can be significant in areas that are high electrical cost. Another consequence is potential HVAC equipment and component failure. Now, we all know that emergency repairs are costly and result if your components do not get sufficient airflow. Clogged filters is the #1 cause of this type of failure in air conditioning equipment. And obviously, when the equipment is running the most in the cooling season, this can be very detrimental and costly. The third is reduced indoor air quality. Now, we spoke earlier about the benefits of good IAQ and the productivity increase in the occupants, but poor IAQ is a byproduct of clogged filters because the airflow is reduced and there is a cost. Now, overhead and people cost is your largest cost, so anything that affects productivity of your folks, whether they're tenants or employees, is a negative to your business. So it's important that you know when your filters are clogged or not. So this is a question of productivity. Every facilities person that I speak with and read about has concerns about optimizing their operations and reducing cost. doing more with less people and less money. Most CFOs and operation managers continue to push for cost reduction and revenue growth to improve the bottom line of a business. Facilities now has the ability to optimize filter changes and ensure accurate filter life. Why does that matter? Well, if your filter costs are high and you're changing out filters based on time and it's before they're clogged, you have extra cost. Most of the building engineers that we've spoken to and also that we've connected with all agree that reducing cost and having an efficient filter change is a good idea. So being able to monitor your filter is a good thing. Additionally, typically facilities and maintenance staffs are already stretched thin and have a long list of work tasks. Being alerted via cell phone, tablet, or computer allows them to work on their priority items and have the confidence that the consequences discussed prior never happen. Clogged filters do happen and they vary in the timing. So if the filter becomes in a clogged condition, an alert is very productive for you. Now, why does this cut costs? Well, having the ability to be more productive in your facilities, maintenance, and service processes leads to less cost, not to mention the tenant comfort and competitiveness of if you're leasing your building to the leaseholders. Additionally, if you have your facilities under a service contract, you can verify that the service company actually is monitoring the filters and changing them out at the proper time and not charging you more than you should be paying. Filters, monitors, and devices need features and considerations that you should look at. Email and text alerts is a very good thing in today's technology because most everyone has a smartphone, a computer, or a tablet, and it provides the flexibility of maintenance personnel not having to be at the facility to know when a filter is clogged. Ease of installation. Many times in the past, you've seen products that hit the market and are very complicated to install, or you have to have someone from that company install the product for you. So a filter monitor characteristic that you should be looking for is easy to install. Now typically, innovation comes along with proprietary technology and software that may not be open to you. But even with that, if the device works and is reliable, you really don't mind that some of that software and technology is proprietary. Reports of remaining air filter life is also another characteristic that gives you indication across all of your air handlers, various facilities, and even in cases where you have many buildings and all over campuses in different areas, you get that air filter life across the systems in one place. Also, there are many types of air handling units, some that run one speed, some that run multiple speed, some that are inside, some that are outside. So having the flexibility of having filter monitors be able to be installed on different types of units is important to you. So let's look at the information that you can use and that makes a difference in the facilities maintenance department. Changing of filters replacements can fluctuate. It depends on what is going on outside of the building. Is there construction? Is there some type of pollen count that is increased? What's going on the inside of the building? Are classes in session so there's more people? What's the outside temperature? All of those kinds of things have an effect on filter life. So having a place where you can see the percentage clogging of all of your filters in different air handling units, different buildings, allows you to get a current status and also compare it over time so you can start identifying trends. Now this can be a good thing or a bad thing for you. The bad thing will be is that if your trends continue or are inconsistent, then you may have to do some more investigation. However, if your trends are pretty consistent, then you can start kind of using that as a check against your system. So what I'm saying is that, let's say an air handler has had clogging about every 6 months for about a year and a half, let's say, and then all of a sudden it clogs in 2 weeks. You can then be alerted that, hey, something is going on in my environment that affects that filter change. And again, an easy install with practical tools that you'll have in your area, in your department, makes it easy. And one of the concepts that people like is KISS, keep it simple, stupid. So that is an important thing to consider. Here's an illustration of a downstream application of a filter monitor. And you can see that the monitor is installed right on the ductwork downstream of the filter in front of the air handling unit. Now having flexibility on where you install the unit is important. So filter monitors should be able to be installed upstream, downstream, and work appropriately. Flexibility is the key. Now, there are many products that come out, and it's always good to have a third-party verification of a good product. In the case of Clean Alert, this was chosen as an Innovation Product of the Year by Popular Science in 2014. So we've covered a lot of information, and there may be a way for you to find a way that you can test air handlers and be able to get the methods and processes that you want. So one way is through a case study program and getting monitors, having a setup, and looking at an analysis based on that example. So with that, I will finish, and I appreciate the information and your attention, and look forward to speaking with you in the future.